Ain't shit they can tell me, man. No, Trillipino. Look.
What's going on, everybody? Once again, it's your boy AWOL Beatz here with Moss Talk. And today I got a very special guest. One of my favorite artists right now. A legend in the game. From the Bay to VA. We here with your boy Charged Up Noah. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Chilling.
How you been?
I'm good, man. Just working.
Got a lot going on right now.
Yes, sir.
A lot of press that you're doing right now too, so I know I don't want to do a lot of repeated questions, but before we get into it, for the fans who don't know Charged Up Noah, I want to bring it to the beginning. Like, how was growing up? I heard, I listened to the music, so
yeah.
I know about raising your sister. So you know what I mean. Tell me about it.
Sure. I mean, it was good. Like, I grew up in I moved to Virginia in middle school, so I grew up in Henrico County. The area of Richmond. I've lived in Richmond at different times, on and off, but primarily in Henrico. It was good. It's like any other childhood, but I used to get in a lot of trouble, things like that.
What school you went to?
I went to a lot of schools, man.
Yeah, you did say you got in trouble.
Yeah, when I first moved here, I went to Brooklyn Middle School for 1 year. Then I got expelled.
Dang.
Then I went to Virginia Randolph.
Okay.
Then they let me back in regular school. I went to Hermitage for 1 year.
Okay.
Got put out again. Had to go back to Virginia Randolph. Then I went to Highland Springs for like 9 weeks. Then I went back to Virginia Randolph. So.
Oh, you got to go to some good schools too. Like just traveling
back
around.
And forth.
Yeah, that's. So, what was it in school that got you? That you was getting expelled for? Was it you had a temper? Or?
I just think like school is not for like the main thing. It was probably things going on outside of school that it caused it was hard for me to focus at school. And then part of it too was like I always been like an entrepreneur, right? Kids don't have people to show them like legitimate or the proper ways to do stuff. If you have that type of mindset where you're gonna get to it regardless, you're gonna find
other ways.
And some of them ways might not always be legal or always within the rules. So that, in a nutshell, that was it. And yeah, that was most of my problems, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got bored easily. Like it took me really getting like a certain like counselors or teachers who understood me in the way that my mind worked or the way that I worked as a person that got me to focus on school. So it was really like meeting teachers and counselors who helped me they saw that I was interested in music. So that's what really, once I got into a program that allowed me to go to Highland Springs for a technical center for radio broadcasting that got me to just like stop getting in trouble. You know what I mean? So
they need to bring that back too, whatever that program was.
They have it at Highland Springs.
But they still have it?
Center.
Okay.
Yeah,
Shout out to Highland Springs then.
It was the first school in Virginia that had a real radio station. So me and this man here, we was in there and
that's crazy. Like you talking about the story right there too.
We learned about like the way the music business worked in high school. So from there, as soon as I got out of high school, I was able to get a job with 106.5 The Beat, like as soon as it came on the air. So it's like
I'm still trying to get a job at one of those too, but go ahead. I don't know 106.5.
That's what it is. Like, it take people, like for me, I played sports as a kid on and off, but I knew I wasn't gonna be any bigger. You know what I mean? Physically, it wasn't gonna be in the cards.
What sports did you play?
Shoot, baseball, basketball. I played basketball for 9th grade for Hermitage, but again, I knew I wasn't gonna be over 5'9", so it's like
I feel you, bro. I did.
What's the point? You know what I mean? That's as soon as I realized that, like, bro, I'm not going to college.
Yeah.
These teachers don't like me. I'm not gonna get a scholarship to go play basketball. So might as well. That's when I really started to focus on like specifically music and how I could find a way within music to make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was your like first influence on hip hop? Like, what made you be like, I want to do that right there?
Man, so many things. Like, I can't say it was one thing. Like, I just loved it ever since I was like a little kid. Like, before it was even rapping. Like, where I grew up in California, like, just the environment, it was influenced by
like
hip hop.
Culture.
Yeah, it's a culture, bro. So I would see people like back when I was like, before I moved here, there were like crews of breakdancing, like kids like breakdancing. That's what you see when you see like them dancers, like the Jabberwockies, these people that are in music videos. You know what I mean?
The
And
Philippines.
Yeah, and they
oh
Filipino.
my God.
Yeah.
Joe Coy went up there and was showing.
Yeah,
those
it's
boys
a big
get
thing.
crazy.
So like I seen that in the area I grew up in.
Yeah.
There were these crews of people that were break dance and dance and battle, and I seen that and I wanted to do that. And I remember like they would even bring out like these mats for kids to do that and have battles, but I realized quick I wasn't good at that. So I started to like get into graffiti. Like there was also a lot of like graffiti over there, and I would look every day like for like one whole year. That was my thing. I was like looking at magazines of people doing graffiti, looking at like all the art I would see on like walls or buses.
Murals and shit.
Yeah, like
that was hip hop at its core too.
Yeah. So these are things like that I seen that I could do, and it didn't require money. I just had to be serious about it. But from there, I think I then like later on when I was like 14, I wanted to be a DJ. Like I was just trying to find like
what lane you
my lane, and I wanted to DJ. And there was also like beginning to be like very influential Filipino DJs that were like good at DJing. I don't mean like DJing like in the club. I mean like scratching. Yeah, like world championship battles, and a lot of those dudes during the like early to mid 90s, they were Filipinos. Like you had these crews like one crew from where I was from was called Invisible Scratch Pickles. You had
I think Sway was talking about them one time. That's crazy.
Because they're legends, like Mix Master Mike, DJ Qbert. And then in LA is another crew called the Beat Junkies, and a lot of them is Filipino.
I know the Beat Junkies too.
So
like, you taking it back.
Yeah, bro. That that when you was asking like what were the first things?
Yeah, it wasn't specifically music, it was the actual culture around it.
Yeah. And then seeing people that were from my same area and, the same heritage, they were Filipinos. So I was like, yo, that could be me. You know what I mean? Like kids and people look for people that they could relate to. So those was the first people I seen. And then for real, on a rap tip though, one of my biggest influences was seeing Big Pun like blow up, because
oh my God. Rest in peace to Big Pun.
Yeah, bro. Like before Pun, he was the first Latino to be like platinum or go mainstream, like as an MC. Of course, you had Fat Joe, Cypress Hill, people like that before that, but they weren't. Like Pun took it to a different level. So when
especially with his heritage, he let it be known. He put it in your face. Like.
Exactly. And it wasn't in a gimmicky way. It was
he
just
brought
like,
you into his world.
Yeah, bro. So that's where I seen like, all right, maybe like I could be like that, where it's like I could bring people into my world, still be proud of who I am, but still, hip hop is about people telling their stories, sharing their cultures,
Yeah.
Whether that culture is just your neighborhood or your gang or whatever, like for some people it's their actual like heritage. So that's part of your story. But I think Big Pun was probably like one of the first big things where I seen something I could like, okay, that's it. I want to do what he's doing. Yeah. Then of course, like, just everything in general, like the rap game, like I looked at people like Nas, Big Pun, Jay-Z, Hot Boys, like Master P, just the whole thing. It didn't matter where people was from, just I always thought it was dope. Whenever I seen anybody like just blowing up or like just doing their shit, like representing their section or whatever, like I just always knew, man, I can't wait for like people to see what it's like where we're from. You know what I mean? Like Virginia, like when I go somewhere and people want me to tell them or show them, like, damn, bro, it's lit over there in Virginia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the goal. Like, they want to know what it's like, or we make it look good. We make our home look good. You know what I mean?
So when was your first time like actually recording a rap? Like, you remember the year or the time what your vibe was on?
Like the first thing I recorded was probably I was in 9th grade, and I was like making bootleg copies of mixtapes, and I figured out that
Hold on, before you finish, what service was you in the bootleg? Like
just like burning it.
Yeah, I'm talking about Frostwire,
Oh nah, this is before that.
This
was like tapes, bro. Like I was. A kid.
You talking about cassettes? Oh
yes, bro. Like,
oh man.
This was. I would take
rip it off the radio.
I would take a CD. This is like in the 90s. So you have a CD player in the top and a tape player in the bottom.
Yeah.
So you put a CD in the top and then record it onto the cassette. So that's what it was. I think I had a bootleg mixtape I got from a barbershop.
Yeah.
And I was making copies of it. And then I was going to like the copy place and copying the cover and making multiple and selling them. And then I was like, yo, if I rap into the headphone slot, I could like record over this instrumental onto the tape and sneak my freestyle on there.
Yeah, on the tape.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Smart. That's cold too.
So I did it. And then like a couple kids was like, hey man, I heard, is that you at the end of the mixtape? I'm like, nah man, that's exclusive. You know
that's some random guy just man. Though. You fire though, right?
Yeah, that's some exclusive DJ Clue guy rapping you ain't heard of yet. So that was the first time. But after that, the first like real time, shout out to Reg at Laurel Barbershop. The first time I was in a real legitimate studio, I was probably like 11th grade. Like I found out it was a studio off of Woodman and Hungary Road in Henrico, near where I lived at. And this dude,
shout out to Woodman West.
Yeah, shout out all them boys, Woodman West, Randolph Court, whole village. Yeah, I found out this barber had a studio too. So I was like, yeah, we paid him. Shout out to Baby Charles too, man. God bless the dead.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Baby Charles. Baby Charles actually, I was rapping with his cousin and he put up the money for us.
Wow.
It was $250 for like 10 hours or 5 hours of studio time. So Baby Charles put up the money and that's the first time I went to the studio.
And at that point, did you know at that point, like, this is what I want to do? Or did it had to settle in?
Yeah, like I was doing it, you feel me? And that's what it sometimes like now in hindsight, you know, just maturing at age, yeah, I was already doing it.
Yeah.
That was it. You feel me? Like me making them decisions, like that was really the beginning of where I'm at now, because from that point up until now, my life pretty much haven't changed them habits, like instead of just going to smoke or go get in some bullshit, like me just going to the studio, me taking my money instead of blowing it on this, every dollar I got from that point was just to the rap.
Message.
You feel me? Yeah, everything. If it ain't, you know, even if I was going to buy clothes, it was to wear them, to shoot a video or to go somewhere.
Everything is invested in yourself.
Yeah, everything was intertwined with rap. If I was going on a trip, I was getting some rap shit done. But yeah, that was, long story short, that was the first time. It's like high school.
Yeah.
Then from there, just kept trying to elevate each step.
Man. What about your influence from the Bay? Do you still continue to use, like, not use it, but do it still fuel you to still
definitely
continue that East Coast, West Coast connection that you have?
Yeah, because, you know, at that time, like, I seen it immediately when I moved here that it was just a different mindset. Like, at that time in Richmond, you know, to get on, you had to go to New York. Like, that was your plan. If you wanted to rap, anybody that wanted to rap, you needed to go to New York or get into some kind of showcase or something for somebody.
Be seen by somebody from New York,
seen,
either way.
Yeah, to be seen, and then somebody put you on. But like, over there, it won't like that. Like, from the time I was a little kid, like, the stuff that we would listen to, the artists we would listen to, like, I just remember it from the time I could first have memories. Like, my cousin would have music of people that was like,
around the corner type.
Yeah, you feel me? And that's what was popular within Bay Area, San Francisco. Like, I remember when E40, like, my cousin. Yeah, he came home and had his tape one day. I'm like, who's it? He's like, well, I bought it from the liquor store. And he was like, he's from Vallejo. You know, it's like stuff like that,
and then
bro.
look at him now, he's legend.
Yeah. Or we'll go to the flea market and you go there and they got tapes of, you know, people from the East Coast, people from LA, but they also had
their people.
Yeah, like, oh, this rapper's from this neighborhood. You feel me? And people would buy it.
Yeah.
Like that to me had a tremendous influence because like from the time ever since I could first remember, it was already in my mind that if I want to do this, like I can just do it.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I can do this and then you wait and then hopefully.
For the moment.
Yeah, hopefully this could happen. So my mind always been like, all right, it's good to have hope.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I need to do what I could do and at least get some money on my own. So I think that was the biggest difference or the biggest influence. Like when I moved here, it was like, you know, just having that sense of pride about where you from, you feel me? Like it took, I can honestly say that like, you know, like when I first moved here, it was people wanted to just get away from here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Oh,
like,
trust
oh,
me.
bro, I can't wait to like
leave
and go to New York or go to Atlanta or go to this place.
Yeah.
And I think that was what was different because it's like now I think people have much more sense of pride. Like, man,
absolutely.
You know, that's what they on, but this is what we're on. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
and it took years for Richmond to finally like buy into itself. Because if you travel, people be very interested in what Virginia has, but in Virginia, we're like, we gotta go to the, and they're like, no, we want to come there. It's like,
and I can honestly say that, like, I have relationships with people all around the country, and from them just knowing me and watching what I'm doing on my timeline, you know, it makes them want to come here. You feel me? And I think that's what it's about. Like, bro, just do your own thing because nobody in Cali is waiting around for you to come from Richmond to out there to put you on, bro. That's not even part of the conversation.
Yeah, that's not even in their mindset.
Yeah, like I can't wait, man. You know, Richmond's talented. I can't wait for these dudes to come up here. Like they got their own scene going on, and they got
trying to put on their own players.
Yeah, they got their own wave. So it's like when you just do what you know what I'm saying? Like do what's important to you. Speak in your slang. Speak to your people. Like that's what makes it interesting to the outside world. You feel me? Like it's just the uniqueness. I think rap now is getting back to that because with the internet, you could see everybody from everywhere all at once, and you could see what their sound is, what their feeling is, and I feel like whenever something gets hot somewhere now, it's like it be people from everywhere go take it,
trying to take it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Detroit shit got its own unique thing. You know, drill.
The drill.
Now you got New York drill, but even like Bronx drill sound different from Brooklyn drill. You feel me? Like that's dope.
Shit, you can take it all the way to grime, which in which to me drill kind of was influenced by heavy grime music overseas.
Or the New York drill is influenced by grime.
Heavy. So it's like a lot of things is switching up, man. Yeah,
I think people now like they could see that there's dope stuff, dope scenes and unique things about each place, and we could all like, you know, just learn or take something that out from it. You know what I mean? Or appreciate it. That's what I mean. We can all appreciate that everywhere has its own unique thing, and that's to me the dopest part about Virginia is like we have a Southern influence, we have a East Coast influence, but we could combine the best of those without sounding like we're reaching. You feel me? Like,
because I mean, we are the I don't want to say nucleus, but we're legit the Middle East.
Yeah, we the meeting.
So we get the traffic from New York. Some of my closest friends moved down from New York, so I picked up that type of slang just living around them. You know what I mean? So then you look at people that come from North Carolina or Florida or Atlanta to move here. You're picking up theirs, but they're picking up yours as well. So like Virginia is becoming like its own separate type of just multicultural. Like you go downtown, you see everything now. Yeah, from black, white, Asian, Spanish. Like it's really really dope, man. I'm gonna touch back on that a little later on something because I want to give you your flowers. But tell me about Monument Ave. How pivotal was that to your career?
Yeah, that was like for real. Monument Avenue. That was like a turning point in my career. For those who never heard it or even know what Monument Avenue is, it's a project that I released in 2014 with a producer from Richmond named Taylor Whitelow. That to me, before then, I had been releasing mixtapes. Like, they really didn't have a cohesive sound. It was me trying to find my identity musically. Like, and
as most artists should, and they skipping that process. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, it's just me working with different producers, trying to find, just find my pace, find my lane. And with that album, really, it started like a year or two before that. I was working with a producer, Clef Dollars. Clef was like a mentor to me. Clef Dollars he passed away in 2012, but he was
rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Clef Dollars. Clef was like, he, along with Mad Skills, were the first artists from Virginia to like have major record label deals.
Oh yeah.
So like, he took me under his wing, and he started like just teach me the importance or showed me how to make a project, like from beginning to end. Like, before then, like I said, I was just like, record here, take 10 different songs, throw them together, do a cover, and put it out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't complete. Like, so what he did, he sat down with me, and over like, few months, 5, 6, 8 months, we crafted a project that told a story, and it had a sound that was cohesive, like a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when Clef passed, Taylor came to me and was like, I want to continue what you were doing with Clef. And he actually brought the idea. Monument Avenue is a street here in Richmond, and at the time, Monument Avenue had
at the time.
all these statues of Confederate war heroes. So, Monument Avenue, the project was like a statement. It's like us really asking the question, like, how can we move forward as a city and as a state? If how can we move forward and be this artistic, forward-thinking, creative place, but this still exists? You know what I mean?
I still look at it even deeper. I go, wow, how can we sit here and celebrate the losers? Like, let's get that out the way first. They lost. So let's end it there. But then when you go in the deeper, it's like, bro, you rubbing this in my face after y'all lost. Like, you don't get to lose and win. But go ahead.
Nah.
I had to get that off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the insanity of it all.
Yeah.
That, at the time during, 2012, 2013, Richmond is having like a creative renaissance.
Big one.
But nobody asking these questions. And, Richmond always been a place where it was like, just you could do what you do, but don't do too much.
Yeah.
And I think like with Monument Avenue, it's crazy because like before I released Monument Avenue, I had gotten some press. I had gotten meetings with record labels for like a video that I had that was on a mixtape. The video got on MTV independently in rotation. So it's like, that was unheard of, you know what I mean? I'm from Virginia, I have no record deal, and my video is like on TV 24/7.
This is back when MTV is on fire too.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So like that got me a lot of attention. Like, people was asking like, who is this dude? How do he do this? You know what I mean? So I'm taking meetings, but after that, that only lasts for so long. So what I did, instead of like making another song just like it, I made an album that was like kind of the exact opposite of it. You feel me? And it just kind of like, it just showed me some things. It showed me like, as an artist, sometimes like people may celebrate you for one thing, or say like, I wanted people to, I guess, like, to acknowledge that we was doing something or asking something that was profound. Yeah. But I think it was too, like, sometimes people not ready. Like, you might do something that it's just ahead of its time. And so it's ironic. It took like till 2020.
That's how
you know what I'm saying?
That's ironic
years,
that you did that then.
Years, yeah. And then in 2021, so for like 6-7 years, like, I'm not saying like the album didn't do good. The album actually like did very good. Okay. It cemented me in a lot of people's eyes as like a solid artist. It also cemented like, damn, like this dude is really like doing his movement independently. Like how we rolled it out, the merch, the actual packaging. So like it did a lot of good, but I think like it took like 6-7 years before like I think Richmond was able to talk about it. Yeah. But because of what happened, and this is another thing too, like, I think what we were trying to address too is like, it shouldn't have took the death of George Floyd and all these other unfortunate events for the government in Richmond and Virginia to address these things.
Yes.
You feel me? You can't continue to sweep shit under the rug and be like, you know, we gonna get around to that, but not right now. We gotta worry about this. Like, nah, bro.
Nobody ever came to the city and be like, yo, these monuments is flames, son. Like, it's like, why are they there?
You know what I'm saying? Like, and people, you know, I have family that would come from other places and they'd be like, man, this is crazy. This is a beautiful city, but like, that's some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think that was the curse that been on our city.
Yeah, it's like just not acknowledging the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And it, you know, fortunately, you know, with that time that we just experienced, like, it was some people in office and the will of the people. You know what I'm saying? When I say like the people, like us,
we made U.S. history.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly. And that's all. You know, whether it's art, protests, whatever. Like, we all humans. You know, and that's all we was trying to do with that project. Is just pose a question, make a statement, and then whether people interpret it is up to them. You know what I mean?
So when you add on a pivotal album, when did the merch start kicking in? Like, is that, when did that, you get what I'm saying? Because you're one of the top.
Same time, bro. Like, for real, that was the first album where, like, again, like, just like, bro, we independent, but we don't need to be on a major label to do what
they do.
We can just do it. It might not be on the same scale, but we released the album. We put out, we released like 2 capsules of shirts. Like, first one shirt that said God, Family, Money. And then, like, you know, every time I release merch, it ties back into my music. It's not just like I make an album and the shirt has like just some phrase. Like, nah, it'll be like lyrics or taken from lyrics in a song or reference back to the album title. But that was the first time where I dropped like the CD, the shirt, you know, DVD, videos. So it really started then, like, as far as like releasing merch. But then it wasn't until really like right before the pandemic that I just like started stepping up like the output of how often I would do merch. Like, at first it was, the merch was tied exclusively to like a release of a project. Yeah. But like, my friends would tell me like, yo, you gotta put out more stuff. Like,
the demand became more than just for the projects.
Yeah. And that's when I realized, like, all right, if I sell out, if I release this ski mask and it sells out, I don't need to wait till this project come out in 6 months to release more merch. I'm gonna just keep the merch going. And it showed me like the merch will keep going regardless of how many, you know what I mean? That's another way to just keep branding myself.
Which is the most important
thing
right now as far as artists.
Over and over, like, so.
Your rollout and your merch, when I first started seeing it, it reminded me of Tech Nine. Because I remember growing up, I never listened to Tech Nine ever or even heard of him. I found myself listening to him the first time in Iraq in concert. And he had, on a war zone, like in the middle of a war zone, he had merch tables up before he was even on stage. And it had already sold out. And I was like, what was that? What just happened? And it was people like, no, you don't understand. Like, you gotta get his merch.
He got a real cult following. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like, I learned that day.
And see, that's I think sometimes, like, growing up in Richmond, like, and this to all the artists in Richmond, like, just because, you know, I know we all want to get love at home, but you may just be from Richmond. You may have your biggest fans in Iowa. Like, you know, when you think of Tech Nine, like, you could stop the average kid here and they might not know about Tech Nine, but Tech Nine and Strange Music be making the Forbes list
every year. And I never, like, as I'm growing up,
they outsell a lot of major labels. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Yeah, that just like that. They've been like somebody that I've studied. Like, nah, if I could do, you know, that's one of the goals of Charge, to create a machine, our own machine, and if. You know, if that machine ends up doing business with a major distributor, that's good. But if not, you know, we can create something that'll feed, you know what I'm saying, our team. You know what I mean?
And you have, though. I've been to a bunch of your shows. Like, your cult following. I was walking past one guy, And he was literally hyped to explain to another guy that he just drove. I barely made it, bro. I just drove down from Long Island. I look.
Yeah, bro.
In DC traffic on this day. I'm like, yo, dedicated fans. How do you feel about having fans that dedicated to every time you drop or just every time you even put out merch? Like, cause it is big, and I salute you. I think it's very underrated, especially in our city. We recently started to big you up and giving you your flowers that you definitely deserve. But to see that cult following be with you for years, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of your fans grew up with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How does that feel?
Nah, it's a great feeling. Like, for real. I know I could do more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish that if I had any regrets, just that I wished I would have learned some of the stuff I recently learned like a few years ago. But to answer your question, it's a great feeling because it doesn't matter if it's 100 people, 1 million people. Like, these are real people. They spend, and time is like, right now, times is hard for a lot of people. Money is tight. So the fact that somebody would take their hard-earned money and buy a shirt of me or like, anything, sweatshirt, hat, whatever. Like,
he
that
definitely
means
got
a
it
lot.
all too. Stickers, what you want.
That means a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I just want to do my part and honor them by like continuing to create like dope songs or dope music or dope merch. So it's like, bro, I'm not gonna, let them down. Like, nah, bro. I'm gonna keep trying to put out the best quality just shit overall. You know what I mean? When I say best, like best for my standard, like I feel like you could put any of my work or pieces up against, just different levels of the game, and it stands
up
how it's
there
gonna
with
stand.
the top. You ain't gotta be humble. He like, you can put it up there near him. No, with the goats.
I said yeah.
With the goats.
Definitely with the goats. But on that design, like one thing I do want to say, I don't tell people like, oh, I have a clothing line or I'm a clothing designer, because when I think of like designer, I think of like Virgil. You feel me? So I'm not to push myself down, but Virgil's a designer. I say like my pieces are like dope pieces, but it's merch because I wanted to tie back to my music. Like, I don't ever want people to
artist.
forget.
So you like with you being an artist, your merch is art pieces.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, instead of it being like an actual, hey, this is a piece of clothing. Here's the brand. It's like, yo, this has a meaning. That's why they buy it. Like, I know that's why I cop your stuff. Somebody just bought some pants from you as soon as you walk through the door. You know what I'm saying?
They're fire.
And it was based off him still seeing you with them on, understanding that these pants was during this time of your life where you get what I'm saying? So it's like it means something to you and it meant something to that customer.
Yeah,
and like, that's something to be really proud of, bro.
Nah, thank you.
A lot of Targets and Walmarts wish they can build, you know what I mean, a clientele that's loyal like that.
True. But yeah, you definitely nailed it. That's again, this is something I tell like just creative people, period. Like, just cause you make songs and just cause I can make a song, my creativity might not always come out in the form of wanting to hit the studio. So really that's what helped, like the merch, just me just putting out more pieces was like, especially during the pandemic. Like, I was working on Trillipino, but I wasn't, like, I couldn't do shows. I couldn't like find creativity always necessarily recording music. But what I did find was like I can express myself through other ways, through the clothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether it's, clothing or movies, film, drawing a picture, like it's all, like you said, artistry. Yeah.
And I said, like, especially even like you look at the rollout of Trillipino, on a level of 1 to 10 as far as artists in the city, that was top 10 type rollout.
Nah, thank you, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the beginning to the end, from the weeks leading up to the artists that you chose. You get what I'm saying? To represent, like, where was you at? Like you said, you was in the pandemic when you started doing it, but what made you know when was the perfect time to put out Trillipino?
Man, let me think. Like, I knew, like, originally, for real, I wanted to drop the album in 2020 around my birthday, because I always, like, my birthday is in the spring. Memorial Day weekend is always like my birthday weekend. So I wanted, like, I wanted to drop it 2 years ago, but but I'm glad it wasn't time. Like we went into a pandemic, and then last year just still didn't feel right. So I was like
We was still
mixing
scared
it.
of the pandemic we was living in. We was like, we might go out, we might not.
So I think like about January this year, I was like, nah, I gotta wrap this up. Like it gotta come out because I have so much other material.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm here in the studio now mixing the next project. Like I got so many other projects and just other people that I'm like working with and want to help them with their projects. Like nah, it's I don't want the music to sound dated neither. So like that's when I knew like just when it just it's a feeling. You know what I mean? We're independent, so I don't gotta. Unfortunately, I don't have nobody like from
Rushing
a label. Yeah, like you gotta put this out, or even telling me I can't put it out.
Yeah, that's
bro,
I was about to say that's been a lot of problems.
It's not time because Kendrick is gonna drop. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm not letting none of that get in the way. It's just a feeling thing more than anything. When it feels right, when I know, and it, like you were saying, like I want to make sure like some of the other things is in place. So like. I booked the venue to have the release party.
Great venue. Shout out to the Barber. That was amazing.
Shout out to Barber. Months ahead, like that was probably booked in November. Then like, you know, some of the merch, like it might take a month or two to get certain pieces back. So just kind of a timing thing too. Like, and that's why I'm like grateful for the pandemic because it's like by the world being still, it allowed me time to just like really work on some of my processes, seeing how long it takes to take an idea,
master your craft at that time. Because the world slowed down, but people like us, we sped up with it because we understood. Like, okay, now it's time for me I can dig down and figure out how I'm gonna really make these moves.
But like, yo, back to like what you were saying, someone with the rollout, like, we're in a time where everything seems instant, and I try to tell, you know, people when they ask the question like how you do this, and I tell them like, bro, it might look like I'm doing this instantly, but like I was just letting you know, like the album, I've been working on it, mixing it since 2020. I may have recorded one or two other songs that I added, but mixing it since 2020. Some of the merch came in like fall 2020, some pieces in 2021. I booked the venue fall 2021. Like
it's been a set out plan.
Yeah. It's just like taking things step by step because this is what major labels do.
Yeah.
So don't, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people like, all right, my album's ready, I'm gonna throw it out there. But then you behind the 8 ball like, all right, boom, I dropped the album, but now I gotta go get shirts. I wanna get my thing on vinyl. That's a 7-month process.
Facts.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just being able to have the foresight to sit back and treat it like a real project, like whether you're doing a school project or something at work where it's like, nah, all right, here go the game plan. This the date we shooting for. What do we need to do to make sure these other pieces all flow together and coincide? You feel me?
That was, and like I said, what you did that day really not only opened my eyes, but a lot of people's eyes in Richmond as far as how you put younger, you know, guys in place to not only see your vision and see how you're doing it independently, but you gave people opportunities to be showcased in front of your fans and create their own fans that night. It was a monumental night. I applaud you. It was great. You even let me, you know, call you onto the stage. That was one of the greatest nights of my life, I would say.
I appreciate that.
And the project is amazing. Before we get out here, which one of your favorite songs off the project you would say?
Man, oh man, just one.
He said just one. Like the one that's the most personal for you off of this piece.
Dang, I don't know, bro. I'd say like I like the song "Favor" a lot. It's too many. Like all of them mean something to me. Phoenix, but it's not just one, bro.
Yeah.
So that means y'all gotta listen to the whole thing, man.
Tell the people where to get Trillipino right now.
Trillipino's at noaho.com, chargeofbnt.com, noah.bandcamp.com. That's it. It's not on streaming sites. So go to noah-o.com, chargeofbnt.com.
And what else? What else you got? You got anything coming? I know you got something coming up, but you want to tell the people you got anything else coming up off the pipeline? Yeah,
after Trillipino later on this year, we got Heretic. That's another project I'm doing with Contra Records, the RV Boombox. So Make sure you be on the lookout for Heretic. After that, Analog Suspects Part 2 with DJ Mentos is coming. So
Y'all heard it here, folks. Charged Up Noah. Shout out to Music One Stop Shop. Shout out to the Charged Up flagship store that you can. What's the address to the store?
Make sure y'all come through 106 West Broad Street.
106 West Broad.
This one of the new hats is coming out later this year with Esoteric. We got new merch all the time. Stop through Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7.
All right. AWOL Beatz. It's Moss Talk. We out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sorry, we would have kept going.
I know. I was looking at DK like, shit, I got more, bro. I got a whole list for this nigga.
So you got them the perfect cameras literally on the brink of that.
Man, we gotta do like a small documentary, like just walking up the city and you just telling your story too.